Hi guys. Okay, so before I will begin, shop links and details for my audio chain are in the description for the video down below. Yeah, so surprise, it's here finally. I feel better now. I feel good enough to carry it around the home. It's 23 kilograms, so it's not much, but I was very weak during past 2 weeks. So today we are reviewing Acoustic FM801 clone amplifier. I call them clones because that's the best word I came up with. These are not copies, and these are not one-to-one exact copies. They are based on original designs, but the PCBs had been redesigned and refined for new chassis, because each PCB obviously has to correspond to the chassis that it will be used with. So the best word I came up for all of these amplifiers is clone amplifier. So today we have FM Acoustic FM801. The original amplifier was professional amplifier made in Switzerland by a company called FM Acoustic that you may be familiar with. It was produced in the 90s. These were used in recording studios to power highly demanding load-wise speakers, because originals and also this one can power speakers that are dropping down to 1 ohm without any kind of problems. So they were also known for their musicality. If you look for opinions on the web, you'll find that many people were loving them for their sound and for their musicality. The original doesn't look half as good as this one. You don't take my word for that. Look for photos of originals. Remember, originals were professional recording equipment meant to be used in racks in studios. So it doesn't look half as good as this one. If there were any patents to begin with, all of the patents for original FM801 are long gone now. As I said, this was produced during 90s, so it was more than 30 years ago. It's very hard to get one today, and they tend to be very expensive. I saw just one offer right now, one offer from the United States, and the seller asks $10,000 for the original one. So I got this one from AliExpress. It can be used for something like $1,000, a little bit less, a little bit more than that, and that doesn't include shipping. So this is not the single most expensive clone amplifier I got so far, because Accuphase A75 was actually more expensive, but this is easily the second one, the second most expensive clone amplifier that I got from AliExpress. This is so-called Master version. It means that it's supposed to be using better quality parts. Yes, the shipping is quite expensive because it's heavy. As I said, 23 kilograms, and that doesn't include the box and the foam fillings. So it's heavy, the shipping will not be cheap. If you're going to buy one, always try to look for coupons. Always try to look for AliExpress sales, because the largest coupons can be $50, $60, sometimes $80, and that's a lot. It can significantly lower the price for this amplifier. Okay, why I got this one? 2 reasons. First one, some of you have recommended me to get this particular version of FM801 because it's supposed to sound very good, but more on that later. And the second reason is if you browse through specification for that amplifier, it has some very nice and very impressive numbers. Signal to noise ratio and dynamic range are 124 decibels. Total harmonic distortion is 0.0016%. THD plus noise is 0.0021%, and it's able to push 250 watts per channel into 8 ohms, and that's supposed to be doubling to 500 watts per channel into 4 ohms. So that's something really impressive, and it'll be an animation, picture in picture. This is from one of the offers that I'll be linking underneath the video. If you take a look here, we have gain measured on audio precision equipment. We have RMS level for both channels. We have THD ratio. We have THD plus noise ratio. Oh, sorry about that. View more. Yeah. And we need to get back here. Yeah. So again, THD plus noise, and regular measurement for THD plus noise. Very nice figures here. Very nice figure for THD alone. And noise level. Noise level is in range of 29 microvolts. So it's very, very low noise level. You need to remember that this is a power amplifier. That's delivering a lot of power. And here we have signal to noise ratio 123, almost 124 for one channel and over 124 for the second channel. And here we have frequency bandwidth. It's basically flat up to 50 kilohertz and starting from 10 hertz, so that's quite nice. Yeah. Here we have a deviation between channels. It's insignificantly small, and we have phase difference between channels, so it's also very small. And here is a family photo of measurements. And one thing that I also found in this particular offer, because in many cases there are discussions under my videos whenever the components used in amplifiers like that are real. The guys are ordering original transistors. They are ordering in packs like this. Each one of them contains 1,000 transistors, and believe it or not, these are not exactly expensive parts if you're doing your orders in that kind of numbers. And some nice photos of the amplifier board, and as you can see, they actually do pair transistors. They measure them. Let's take a look at that. They measure them and they do pairing. And I'm saying that not only basing my knowledge on these photos, but because I've seen one of the amplifiers, one of the channel amplifiers that they are sending for replacements. One of my viewers got that one, and he shared some photos with me. So anyway, the amplifier, before it will be mounted on the heatsink, you can actually take a look at the underneath of transistors that are already soldered on to the PCB, and you can actually see the current numbers on the transistors. The same thing that I've shown you on the photo here. So let's get back to the amplifier. Here I've told you about the spec numbers, and these are some very good data, and I've also measured a couple of things. The first one, it's getting hot after a quite long session. I think it was 5 or 6 hours. The top measured temperature was 54 degrees centigrade. The average was between 42 and 44. The topmost was down below between fins of the heatsink, closer to the bottom part of the amplifier. But the fins and most of the heatsink was between 42 and 44 degrees centigrade. I've also measured the power it consumes, and it was something like 150 watts when it was idle, and it was something like 160 when it was playing music, so not a big difference, not at all. So let's take a look inside. As usually, the chassis quality is outstanding. As you can see, it's a solid thick plate of metal. The paint job here is also excellent. Oh, I forgot to show you the front and the back. Yep, on the front we have power on button, and we have two status lights for left and right channel. We have very nice heatsinks on the sides, and in the back we have speaker tabs that are supposed to be of better quality, and they actually are different than most of the speaker tabs that I can see on other amplifiers. And we have two sets of inputs, XLR balanced inputs and single-ended RCA inputs, and of course power plug connector with integrated fuse compartment. So let's take a look inside. What can we see here? We can see here a very large toroidal transformer. According to the seller data, it's supposed to be delivering 1200 watts. I cannot actually confirm or deny that because the spec number is down below right there, and I just can't see that. I was trying to look there with some small mirror, but still nothing. Okay, so the other thing we can see here are power capacitors, filtering capacitors, and each one of them is 10,000 microfarads. These are supposed to be LNAs, rated for, let's zoom a little, yeah, rated for 80 volts, and each one of them is supposed to be holding 10,000 microfarads, meaning that we have 40,000 microfarads per channel and 80,000 microfarads per amplifier, which is a nice number. We also have Omron relays here. This is a slow start board, also with Omron relays. It's used to provide safe start for the amplifier, save time for loading all the capacitors on both boards. Okay, here we can see, maybe let's zoom a little more. Yeah, here we can see the XLR connector and RCA connector along with switch, and there is something very interesting here. Let's have it like that. Can you see that small deep 8 chip? Let's remove that one and try to take a closer look. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll be able to focus properly. This is Burr Brown INA 1370A, and this actually is balanced line converter, meaning that the balanced input, the XLR connectors here, are getting converted to single-ended for the boards, meaning that internally the amplifier amplifier channels are single-ended. And I'm showing you this because this is the same solution that I've seen on the photos of Dartzil D9 and D9 Pro, which are supposed to be balanced. I mean, they do provide balanced inputs, but they are not internally balanced, meaning that they are actually the same construction as the D5 Pro, just with additional board for conversion from balanced connector to single-ended. What else can we see here? we can see some nice ceramic resistors, the white ones. Let's zoom out. Yeah, the blue capacitors that you can see between resistors are German Aero capacitors, which is quite nice. What else? The black electrolytic capacitors that you can see inside here. All of the black ones are Rubicons. What else? I think that's it. I think that's it. You can see more detail of the amplifier boards on the photos that are included in the sale offer that I will link to in the description. Yes, and the blue ones here I think are Nichicons. Yeah, these ones and these ones. So all in all, really good quality components. Also, if you take a look here, we have some good quality wire for speaker tabs, and the small wires that are providing signal input also look nice. And I'm mentioning this because the seller in the description for the offer says that these are OCC copper wires, both of them, these ones and these ones. Yeah, so all in all, I like the build inside. I like the quality of parts that have been used for this amplifier. Yeah, that's it. We have one more thing. We have 2 fuses per channel. The amplifier boards are exactly the same. One of them is rotated, but they are both exactly the same. Okay, so now we've covered the build, we've covered the external connectors, so we may move to the most important part of the review, which is the sound quality for this amplifier. Okay, so let's start with the bass. Bass is very, very good. It's actually excellent. It's very powerful, and it has great control and textures. This is a really powerful amplifier, and this is something you can hear in the bass. I've read on the web that the original FM801 were very often used in studios to power subwoofers, to power passive subwoofers, large con speakers that were able to deliver very low sounds to the mix. And this is something that you can actually hear. The bass is absolutely stunning. Examples: London Philharmonic Orchestra, theme from Halo, Never Forget. This is game music, but it's being played by London Philharmonic Orchestra. It's also a great composition. And in this track, you'll be able to hear how agile and fast and swinging the bass is. It has superb extension and it has great texture. The feel of the bass is very organic. It's not, how should I put this? It doesn't sound like something plastic, like something that would be, I don't know, like I would be hitting my hand on metal or something like that. It has very great organic feel to it. It's very fast, it's very strong, and it can actually shake the ground. For example, and I've mentioned that track earlier during a couple of my reviews. Also, London Philharmonic Orchestra, Fallout 3 theme. You may be familiar with Fallout from the Netflix series. So basically, the main theme starts with a few sounds at the beginning that are supposed to mean, in my interpretation, nuclear blast. So it's quiet, and suddenly there is a hit. There is a solid wave of sound. And just a few amplifiers that I've reviewed so far were able to deliver that few first sounds in a very convincing way. And one of them is this FM801. The second one The close second was Burmester 953. So it's a very similar feeling, but this one is more powerful. It's hitting really hard. Okay, moving to mid-range. Mid-range is slightly on the warm side, just enough to have nice natural voices, very natural, very good voices, but it's not overdone. It's like when I'm listening to my music, I can tell that it's slightly on the warmer side, but it's not something that's obvious. It's not something that you can hear right when you enter into the room. Okay, moving on. Mid-range is very detailed and very musical. No sibilance whatsoever and no fatigue, no listening fatigue whatsoever. The instruments are full-bodied and they have very rich timbre. Strings are superb. For example, there is a great live recording, live from CD Live in Gdańsk by Roger Waters, and it's Wish You Were Here, and the track begins with ambient sounds, live sounds from the people that were there, and it starts with guitars, and the strings there are absolutely brilliant. Moving on to treble. Treble is airy, open, and it's very extended. It's very delicate, it's very smooth, it's very open, but I'd say it's maybe a little on the dark side, meaning that although it's airy, it's not very sparkling with light, which is okay. For a slightly warm amplifier, it matches the signature very well. Okay, so moving on to the next part, the detail. This amplifier has very good detail. You can hear all different voices in chorals. My standard example, my regular example here is Baba Yetu by Christopher Tin, and you can clearly hear that the choral part of the song is not one sound, it's not one voice, that there are actually people standing together and they are singing together, and the resulting sound is a mix of different single voices. So everything is there, every small bit of information is there, but this amplifier has a very interesting quality. You see, I realized that it will not let me stay focused on the details. When I was hunting for the details, when I was looking for them in my listening sessions, at all times it ended up with me getting drawn back to the larger picture, to the melody and to the music, which is a very interesting thing in my opinion. I think this is the first amplifier that does something like that. The detail is there, I can hunt for it, but it does not allow me to stay in the detail. It brings me back and makes me focus on the whole music, on the whole sound. And this is a very interesting quality because it's also meaning that it will be merciful to bad recordings. It will not throw all the problems and errors right in your face. You can find them if you focus, but it will not throw them in your face. Imaging. Imaging is absolutely excellent. Excellent layering, excellent spatial cues, a very good separation for instruments, very good separation for layers, very nice and natural audience voices. If you have live recordings, the ambience and the live voices from the audience will be a very nice thing in every recording. Okay, for example, to be specific, okay, another track that's being always used to test equipment, Keep Don't Go. But we will not be focusing on the song itself, but let's focus on the sounds at the very beginning of the track. You can hear screams from the audience. Yes, that's obvious. But the thing here is that with this amplifier, you'll be able to tell which one of them, which ones of them were in the back and which ones were in the front, which ones were slightly on the left, and there are some in the center. With most of the amplifiers that I've tested so far, you can hear all of them. The most detailed ones would let you hear this precise location, and this is one of the amplifiers tested so far that are the best in this regard. The spatial cues will give you information about the size of the venue, and you'll be able to position the sounds coming from the audience in that venue. So that's absolutely great. I'm in love of good imaging. Every time I hear 3D sound coming from just two speakers, I am dazzled. I like that. Okay, now moving on to loose thoughts, some loose things that I've noted during my listening sessions that were not exactly fitting into earlier categories. Spatial cues and warmth, this slight warmth, remind me of tube amplifiers. It doesn't lose the detail with lower volumes, which is also an important thing, and I try to remember to check that because I'm not listening to my music very loud, and very often I'm listening to it with quite low volume levels when I'm doing something else, and this amplifier doesn't lose any detail with low volumes, but it has this nice quality that makes you want to go louder and louder. Up to a point. Yes, I didn't feel the need to go disco levels with my volume level, but I wanted to make it slightly louder, to feel the presence and to be in the place, to be with the people singing, playing instruments. So that's something very good in my book. Yes, that was actually covered earlier. It's very natural and it's very musical, and it's also very relaxing. During longer listening sessions, it makes you relax. I don't know, I should have put that earlier. No, it's actually later. Okay, one more thing, and that's actually quite important. I couldn't exactly place it in earlier sections because this is not exactly the build. It's more about the sound quality. When I was using RCAs as inputs, and I was putting my ears very close to the speaker, right exactly right next to the membranes, I could hear very slight transformer hum. However, when I switched to balanced inputs, it was dead silent. It means that probably these wires here, note that they are not shielded, are catching some of the stray field from the transformer. However, the balanced connection will rule that EMI out because of common mode rejection. So I would highly recommend using XLR inputs with this one. Okay, for the big amplifiers that I'm testing, you may remember that there's always an additional section of my review because I'm looking for amplifier that will be powering in the best way, providing me the best possible sound quality. My Martin Logan Ascent 1 speakers, basically these towers that are covered with covers. So I've also tested this one with Martin Logans, and they have this quality that they are very, very transparent, and they are letting you see all of the good things with your audio chain and all of the bad things too. And when I've connected FM801 and powered it on with my electrostats, and the things that I've noted here are clarity, air, and powerful bass. So all the best qualities that I've heard earlier with dynamic speakers were still there, and they were even more prominent. And one more thing that I've noted here that's actually very important, that the voices got stunning clarity. For example, there is a cover of Memory by Nicole Scherzinger, and her voice was mesmerizing. It was way better than with dynamic speakers. All vocals, actually, all vocals, male and female, especially female vocals, were way better than with these Martin Logan XT B100 speakers, and these are the best dynamic ones that I have currently here in home. So with electrostats, this amplifier had shown that it has no problems, but it's even clearer, more transparent, and it has even better voices than I could hear with dynamic speakers. And that's something amazing, because as you may remember or may not remember, I'm looking for that kind of amplifier for my electrostats, because my electrostats in treble are going as low as 1.2 ohms, which means that they are very difficult to load. And if you have a good equipment, if you have a right amplifier for them, they will reward you with absolutely stunning clarity and transparency. But if your amplifier has any problems, especially if it's not able to drive properly such demanding loads, you will lose airiness, you will lose detail, and you will lose transparency in the highs and in the mid-range. That was not the case with this amplifier. It's absolutely very good, and it pairs very well with my electrostats. Okay, so summary. It's very powerful, it's very musical, it has absolutely great imaging and stunning vocals. I'm highly recommending this amplifier to you, and I'm pretty sure that many of you will ask me to compare it with Darzil clone, with D5 Pro that I've reviewed in May, I think, this year. So, in short, I haven't done head-to-head comparison, I'll have to do that. But, in short, Darzil will have less bass, and it will have less power, although it's powerful too, but it's not as powerful as this one. Darzil will be a little bit more detailed and will have a little bit more air and transparency. FM801, this one, will have a little bit better vocals. The vocals on this one, yes, they are better. The vocals on Darzil are also very good. And this is something that you've also mentioned in the comments below the Darzil video. But this one has this quality that also FM300A had. It's something like, it sounds a little like tubes, a little like Class A amplifier. So anyway, vocals here will be better. And this one also has balanced XLR connectors, if that's something that's important for you. The D5 Pro that I have here doesn't have those. So that was very quick and dirty comparison. I definitely will need to do a full dedicated comparison. I need to do excuse me, dedicated listening session with all of them, two of them, all of them too, but that's later. With two of them, D5 Pro and this FM801, and compare them head to head, switching between them. A couple of minutes from one and a couple of minutes from the second one, etc, etc. So again, all necessary links to the shop, to the offer, are in the description of the video. You'll also find there full details on my audio setup that was used during this listening sessions for this equipment, and yeah, everything was of good quality there. I hope you liked this video, and if it helped you to decide whenever you want to get this one or not, you are more than welcome to support my channel by buying me a beer via Super Thanks on YouTube, and that's a button that can be also found below the video. If I forgot to mention anything, if you found something in the video that you wanted to ask me about, if you wanted just to share your opinion, because I know that some of you do have this amplifier, and I was kind of on the fence when I was ordering this one, because it was like 50% of you were recommending me to get this amplifier, 50% of you were saying that you got this one and it wasn't as good as some other equipment. Well, it is really, really good. I would say it's slightly better than Dartzil. Dartzil has some areas that are superior, but I would say that this one will have more areas like that. I will need to, as I said, do a detailed comparison between just two of them to be able to reliably answer that question. Yeah, so thank you guys. If you would like to ask me about anything related to this review, just please ask me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll have a great rest of the day, and see you next time. Bye.